You're gonna have to share your screen on this so that I can see what the heck you're.
Yeah, I'll share my screen on Discord real quick.
Or else I don't have nothing. How's it going?
It's going great. What have you been up to today?
Nothing productive yet. I've achieved. Oh, so
Yeah, I went and hit from like 10 to noon. Went and played tennis with a couple buddies. So it's been a pretty good day so far. And then I was just streaming some meme decks. So I thought we would start out with introducing ourselves. My name is Andrew, and I am. Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
which were set to be in class, which upset me greatly. They're 1 to 4 every day. Every day, 1 to 4 in person. And I got this splendid email today that says, because of COVID and everything, that they're offering them class, and so I ain't leaving my house all summer.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Awesome. So I'm Andrew, and on the other end of the line is Jordan, who is working on getting a webcam for next week, hopefully. So a little bit about us. We are both in college at the same university. I am majoring in professional times management. Jordan, you want to tell them what your major is?
I am majoring in digital animation and game design.
He is, and it's thanks to him that we have all of this like cool stuff going on my stream between the borders and the People's Champ podcast logo. So this is the People's Champ podcast, and we are going to be talking about Wild. We'll talk about Battlegrounds when it's relevant because we both enjoy ourselves some Battleground. So introducing ourselves a little bit more as far as our Hearthstone background. So I started playing around Whispers of the Old Gods. That's when Jordan convinced me to get into Hearthstone. But I didn't really take it seriously until like Knights of the Frozen Throne, I think was the first one I pre-ordered. And that's when I really started playing quite a bit. I started playing predominantly Wild once Ungoro and Knights of the Frozen Throne and Kobold rotated during the Year of the Mammoth rotation. So what about you, Jordan? What's your Hearthstone background?
Basically, what you're saying is you're a filthy high roll and you couldn't let go of those sets, huh?
Yeah, I rather like the Death Knights.
That's a great question. I started a long time ago.
Did you
Fun
start?
fact: I looked up yesterday the first time I hit Legend, and I think it might might have been before even when I thought I did anyway.
Oh, really?
I hit it in early 2017. First, that feels
Okay.
like so long ago,
Yeah.
and that's
So I,
yeah.
so
I've
you
started playing
probably,
GVG, but I wasn't like buying packs or playing seriously until after GVG. So to this day, GVG is basically the only set I have nothing of.
yeah.
Like absolutely nothing.
I've actually been going back and buying packs of like GVG and Grand Tournament since I didn't buy them the first time around. And since you can buy them with in-game gold now, it's pretty pog.
That does help. I
And
think I did that for one pity timer once I hit my legendary wrist.
yeah, I have almost all the commons and rares in Grand Tournament now. I'm working
Actually,
on doing the same with GVG.
yeah, I got Foe Reaper. It's pretty lit, dude.
Nice.
Wrong game mode, but
Wrong game mode,
it's
indeed.
all right.
All right, and as Jordan alluded to, we've both hit Legend a couple times. Jordan, how many times have you hit Legend?
I don't know, like 4 times maybe.
4 times.
I
And
don't play enough consistently enough, but
was that mostly in Standard still? Have you hit
yeah,
Wild
I've never
Legend?
hit Wild Legend.
Okay. And
Can't stomach that game mode enough.
so I have hit Legend and only in Wild. Previous to the new ladder, I hadn't hit Legend at all. But last month when that rolled out, I hit Legend, and with all this quarantine stuff going on, I've had plenty of time. So I hit Legend last month, and then I hit Legend again this month. So definitely getting more into it as we go. And I also stream a little bit of Wild Hearthstone, working on getting to affiliate right now. All right. So unless there's anything else you want to introduce about yourself, we can move on to the bread and butter of this podcast. So we're going to be talking about the balance changes that rolled out earlier this week. So we're going to start with some of the buffs. The Aldor Attendant changed from a 2-mana 2/3 to a 1-mana 1/3, which means it can come down sooner. You can play it with Crystology, or you can draw it with Crystology. All in all, it's a pretty solid change, I think. What are your thoughts on it, Jordan?
Doesn't seem to be as well received as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a lot of...
I remember when it came out, Orange tried to make aggro Libra and Paladin work.
Yeah.
But based on HS replay, it looks like not very many people joined him in that effort.
Yeah, I've seen a few people like...
Even the best deck with it on HS replay has only like 500 games played.
Yeah.
With not enough data for like anything. That's why.
I've seen quite a few wild streamers trying it out. I was watching Daniel and Cream Puff do a co-op yesterday with Libra and Pally. I know that Martian Boo was also playing Libra and Paladin when it rolled out, so definitely people out there playing it, but it's, I think, being generous, it's maybe like top of tier 3 in his best versions. Would you agree with that, more or less?
Yeah, I think pure Paladin is where it fits best in Standard and Wild. I doubt it has any potential anywhere until they add more cards. But I'm sure they won't add anything for it because they like to throw in random garbage at Paladin every expansion instead of adding to the old stuff.
Rip Paladin.
They just throw in a new gimmick every expansion.
Yeah. So the thing about this is it works pretty well in stuff like Galvadon, and like it has good synergy with like Lanessa. So there is some like Libra and Paladin has
I'm sure you can toss it a pure Paladin list up there and hit Legend, but
yeah,
it's no Highlander Hunter or Demon Hunter.
No, certainly not.
Any of the
I know that
have existed for you.
So the people that were having a lot of success were normally running like Idis Darkbane, which is the 3-mana 3/4 that whenever you cast a spell on that minion, deals 3. So they were doing like a OTK with it. So that seems pretty interesting, but again, not super good.
OTK with Aldor Attendant?
With Aldor Attendant, but with the 3-mana 3/4, the Idis Darkbane, the legendary.
Oh yeah, you make the thing, but you get a lot of cost 0 when you play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best version in Wild because it lets you contest early a little bit and do potentially strong things. But
all right, so that's probably the change I'm most excited about of all of these, but it is a little underwhelming. So the next one is a buff to the Shaman Legendary of the Lurker Below. So the change on this, it's getting 2 health. So it sticks on board a little bit better. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't think it makes any sense, but Shaman sucks, so hey. They could use all the help they can get, but that card was already kind of nuts.
Yeah.
The 3 health did really suck. Because if you even if you killed 6 minions with it and it was like nuts, if like 1 3-attack minion lives that he played for 2 mana on the other side of the board, it's suddenly not very good.
Exactly. It's a lot of
I think Shaman needs a lot more help than just that card.
Yeah, and in Standard and Wild, I would say both formats, Shaman is really struggling right now. So the Lurker Below buff might help it out in Standard a little bit but I like in Wild, there's really not a lot of control Shaman lists running around. I have seen people run this card in the last couple days in Shudderwock Shaman. It seems fine. It seems slightly unnecessary. I don't think the buff really did anything to help it in that particular deck, other than make it a bit stickier so you can maybe push some extra damage or trade more efficiently.
I think a better buff would have been making it cheaper, but maybe that would have been too good of a buff.
Potentially, yes. So
6/3 is just abysmal, but it could be a 6/3 for 5 or 4, and suddenly it's acceptable.
Yeah. So kind of moving in the vein of Control Shaman, they also buffed a few more Shaman cards, so let's look at those. So Shattered Rumbler is a Shaman epic that says if you cast a spell last turn, deal 2 damage to all other minions. And they gave it an extra 1 attack. So it's a little bit more aggressive. And it trades a little bit better with some things, maybe? What are your thoughts on this one?
Makes it a lot better to just toss it out there with no effect. There's no reason that something like the 5-mana 5/6 priest that discovers a card has to be a 5/6, and this couldn't be.
Right, yeah.
4/6 is just too bad. And again, Shamans sucks.
So this
Needs help.
also feels like it fits into like a more control-y Shaman archetype. The effect is pretty decent. Casting a spell is not hard, and
Yeah,
playing this on curve is powerful.
it's such a bad card. Even then, it's like unless you play spells fairly consistently every turn, like it'd be so much better if it. I mean, obviously, it'd be better, but it would like if you cast a spell this turn, maybe
This turn,
because
yeah.
it's just like things that you have to do last turn to then do this turn.
Those always feel
Either
kind
has
of bad.
either has a problem with like you tell your opponent what you're trying to do, or it's too late. It's like, oh, they developed a big board. Let me next turn I can clear it. It's like no, you're just gonna lightning storm.
Yeah,
It just is what it is.
for sure.
But
So
in the future, it might
if Control Shaman ever becomes a playable archetype, then this might see play in it. I think it's a lot better in Standard than it is in Wild, because Wild doesn't really do a lot of things that. I mean, so Wild, you either have hyper aggro, where if you're playing this on turn 5, you're already dead.
I didn't even realize it said all of the minions. It hurts your own minion.
Oh, that's even worse. I didn't realize that either. I figured it was just enemy minions. Yeah, this card seems bad.
Probably worse, unless there's so much used that. But
Yeah,
that
maybe
makes
if
it
you're
seem
trying
even worse.
maybe if you're trying to like play
Then
some
it's
sort of egg shaman, maybe.
locked hard to a control deck. You can't even like tempo this out, like to clear board, keep ahead, kill your.
Yeah, it's not even like a
Which
mid-range
is
tool at that part.
what people do on Hearts. Yeah, that card, which would make sense. So I'm looking at just replay to find decks that play. I know that it's been on Nerf, even in Standard. It's just too gimmicky. Minions have always been better in Hearthstone, and that's not. It's got a powerful effect for a minion, so kind of like a spell. There's too many if.
And in Shaman, I don't think you can ever truly write off
No, I'm sure
a card that says Battle Cry on it because of Shudderwalk. So
right.
maybe you throw this in like that Bitter Shaman where it's like Undertaker and you're trying to kill your own Shudderwalks off and summon a lot of them to gain a lot of armor.
Toss a couple of Grim Patrons in your deck, call it a day.
Grim Patron, lol. All right, if we're bringing up Grim Patron, it might be time to move on. All right, so Torrent. So Torrent is
Never
what?
Seen this card played.
Torrent was a 5-mana deal 8 to a minion, costs 3 less if you cast a spell last turn, so it would cost 2 if you played a spell. Now it is 4 mana, so if you played a spell last turn, it would cost 1. Thoughts on this? You kind of already said. It's
8 damage to a minion. Cost a spell last turn. Again, if you cast spells fairly often, it has potential to be good, but it's 1 mana cheaper than, what is it, Flame Blast? The Mage 5-mana deal.
Oh, Flame Lance. Yeah. So if you're playing it,
that card sucks.
Yeah,
that card you can play.
That card is unplayable.
Granted,
I mean you can play this the turn you play it too. It's just going to cost you 4.
A card you'd see more in Standard, so that's not a fair comparison. But it's just having to cast a spell last.
I mean, worst case,
consistently. Like this is the kind of card that you'd see play in if you know that like in this deck that's good in the meta game is going to play like a 5-mana 5/6 every game, and it's like you got to have a card for that. You got to have a card for his 5-mana 8/8.
Sure.
But then every turn from 4 mana on, you have to play a spell in hopes that when he plays that card, you can torrent it when you can hex it.
So couple of thoughts come to my head. The first is, if you're playing this fairly, it's Flame Lance but one cheaper, which is okay. If you're playing it for one
That's fair. I
mana,
mean, you could play for one.
if you play it for one, it's pretty solid. One
Yeah,
mana,
I mean it's like a better Wing Blast with a
yeah,
downside that is insane in my opinion.
sure. Other thought I had, if there's a meta again where hand lock, even lock is super prevalent, this kills giants on curve.
Yeah. Didn't they Hall of Fame Mountain Giant? They feel like this card should have came out a little soon.
Yeah, but
That's what I was trying to get at with the 6 mana 5/6. I should have just had 3 mana 8 it. That makes way more sense. You know, like that would be a reason to run this card, right? For hand locks or whatever the heck you see
right.
in wild or standard when that Mountain Giant.
Yeah, this is good against giants
Because it
and
doesn't matter
not
what
much
they're playing.
else.
Mountain Giant was in every Warlock deck.
It's fair. This is good against
card.
early giants. That's I think my evaluation of the card. It's good against early giants if those are ever seeing play.
Yeah, I mean it's like a nuts Wing Blast. It can be great tempo. So I think it's probably even better than the last one because it can be
Yeah,
good tempo.
I think
you know,
because like
you don't hurt
shaman
your own minions, you don't-
spells, like shaman spells tend to be pretty control-y in nature in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So like
So if
you
you're playing
could
a
just
deck with
run a
lots of
control
spells,
if you're running a control shaman list with a lot of spells in it, this is a
Yeah.
fine include. It
The
also
problem is in Hearthstone nowadays you can't play control decks without a win condition. You gotta have some kind of win condition.
that is correct. But this could
So-
be a powerful tool in that deck.
Yeah, it's got
It-
potential.
But again,
I mean they could nerf every card this way and Shaman a few more nerfs before it did much in my opinion.
yeah, because control shaman especially is just not
Take off the
At
2
all
minion part and I'm
viable.
sold.
one mana deal 8 to the face.
I'm sure it'd be good then.
Yeah, you just have to
I
like.
can't see how anyone would abuse a 1 mana deal 8.
Oh, I don't know how they would do that.
Oh, there's just no way.
All right. So now we're moving to nerfs, and this is the nerf right here that most people were most excited about. So Priestess of Fury was a 6/7 for 7. Now it's a 6/5 for 7. So it's a little bit easier to remove. That's about it. It's a little easier to remove. What are your thoughts?
Priestess of Fury was a card that got hate and like nerf requests because of all the cards that came before it. It's like that one powerful card that always gets nerfed. Like you feel bad about it because you die. That's on when really the problems are kind of all the things I did before this card.
Right.
But I think nerfing it now in this way makes it so you feel a little bit less bad. Like you know, every game against Demon Hunter, right? When you're against them, how many games do you like almost catch up and get the board back, and then they play that on 7, and you're like, well, darn, I was.
Yeah.
You had that happen like many. It's like they get 1 minute that sticks, you just get a little too far behind, you catch right back up, they play that, and you're like, oh no, how am I gonna deal 7 to that?
That's exactly.
So it makes it like feel a lot less bad, and
Like-
while still being a strong card.
Right. So my experience with Priestess of Fury, and so here's my thought with this: is Priestess of Fury is a card that is not really good for the body. The effect is the more powerful thing about it, because if your opponent can kill it on curve, then they're gonna kill it immediately. So you're doing it for the 6 burst to their face, or you're doing it to clear a wide board. Bunch of powerful stuff. I kind of think about this as Ragnaros, which, I mean, obviously a lot of people have made that comparison. It's Ragnaros, but I think it's a lot better than Ragnaros because it deals with opponents' boards while it's dealing a little bit of chip damage to the face.
Deals with wide or slightly less to face if they have nothing.
Right, exactly. So I think this is a lot more versatile than Rag, and Rag got Hall of Famed. So
I think it's not the sole reason Demon Hunter was good, but thankfully they didn't just nerf this card.
yeah, for sure.
But it's the like signature card that everyone asks for nerfs about it. We see it all the time in Hearthstone. Like they want to get nerfed, and the devs come out and say, "Well, if you look at it, people just hate this card because that's what they see when they're dead."
Absolutely.
When really they lost the game to that 3-drop that's slightly too overpowered, right, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like this change. Like, should theoretically turn the like 95% of the time lose. It's like a big proponent of that. To like when you get the good games, you almost beat it. A few of those will swing your way more, and you'll feel less bad about this card, and hopefully the game in general, right? That's kind of the point of nerfs.
Right.
So I think it's good nerf.
It's
Still a good
powerful.
card.
I think it's...
If you disenchant it, you're gonna be enchanting it pretty.
Yeah, like I disenchanted it. I think I already re-enchanted it, so...
If you want to nerf this card for a while, up that to 6 or 8 mana, that card's gone.
Yeah. I mean...
Still be good.
Yeah.
But in Wild, if you really want to hurt this card,
you make it even.
Make it even.
Yeah. I think that's all we need to say about that.
No, like then it's much harder to play. Granted, though, if you make it even, 3 expansions from now, and it might still be a problem in Wild even.
Sure.
Play other things.
Sure.
Yeah, I like it. Still like the card. Like the nerf.
Still a good card. Good nerf though. All right.
This nerf is actually. I think this nerf we're looking at right now is a bigger deal.
Crimson Sigil Runner.
This hurts them. This hurts the Demon Hunter class a lot.
Yeah, I would agree.
How many times have you played a 1-mana 1/1 in your life and been like, I loved that? Maybe Lackeys is a good example, but
sure.
In terms of cards you run in your deck, 1 is so much worse than 2. 50%.
Yeah, so exactly what you're saying. When you lose 1 attack on this, that's one less attack going to your opponent's dome, and that's
massive.
And that's
it's just so much
scaling every turn
too.
So the thing about attack on minions is it's more relevant the earlier that minion comes down. So if this comes down on 1, that 1 damage, if they don't remove it, will end up scaling a lot. So it's 50% less damage every turn.
That goes for every number in Hearthstone. The difference between 1, 2, and 3 is way more important than the difference between 7 and 8 or 8.
Yeah.
Because of the limited things you can do and the amount that they can get out of hand early.
Right.
This makes it much worse at board control.
That is why
you can't even kill like 1/2s in Part Warrior anymore with this card. I mean, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
In terms of board control, it's only like, throw this out there to shuffle through my deck.
Yeah, and I think
it's
that's
still okay.
I think that's what they wanted to do too to this card. I think that what they wanted from this card was it to be Novice Engineer but better. And I think they achieved that.
Engineer but better. As opposed to Kobold Librarian and better.
Yeah, exactly.
And that card was a huge problem.
Right. 1-drops get nerfed a lot in Hearthstone because 1-drops determine the game.
Very good stuff. So yeah, this nerf hurts a lot more. I cut it for a battle mage and be fine, obviously.
Right. Like odd demon hunters have mostly transitioned away from this.
Games where you don't have Priestess of Fury and they do catch up a little bit, you'll just lose those games because if you don't hit, so like it'll hurt you a little bit because the card's not really worth running anymore. But yeah, this hurts them a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Like I played a game where I played like 2 of them on turn 3. They both drew and I hero powered for 2. It was like pretty solid. Made it so like just never ran out of card.
It makes it a much more fair
on turn
card.
1. I'd much rather play a 2/2.
Oh, for sure.
1/2 that grows. Even if this is drawing, I think. Without it being a 2/1, it just doesn't do anything on the board.
Right.
Aggressively, or it's just a like inner demon finder in a control OTK deck of some sorts. Sure. I could be wrong. You could still run it, but
it's still a good cycle. And aggro, if you're running out of steam, this is fine. It's
definitely a good nerf.
It's draw a card with the body, and that's
I am
pretty good.
Fine with it being dead if it's dead, but if it's not, it's fine. It's a fun card.
Absolutely. Next
and
card.
Now it's not an annoyingly strong card. I don't think I'll be as tilted when people play this on 1 and it's.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next card is Shadow Jeweler Hanar, which got nerfed by 1 health. So
that's a weird nerf.
Yeah, I don't think Secret Rogue was
nerf.
I don't think Secret Rogue was very oppressive in either format.
It was the best rogue deck in Standard. Galakrond and Secret.
Okay.
What most people played. It was that or just regular Galakrond.
Yeah.
Eh,
So it makes it
I think
easier
it's
to
fine.
kill.
It's such a minor nerf. Five's a lot. A lot
Five,
of times you see things with strong effect where they have tons of health and low attack. And we've seen a few of them in the past get nerfed. It's just slightly too hard to remove early game.
yeah, like what can you do on turn 2 or turn 3 to deal with this? Not a lot. And
It's fairly hard.
especially once they start cranking those secrets, then you're like, well, I have to play around mage secrets and rogue secrets and paladin secrets and hunter secrets, and then this card never dies. So like, especially in wild when there's
I
so
mean,
many different things you have to play around, it can just be like game winning if they can keep this alive for a few turns.
in standard Galakron Secret Row, it still has the second highest mulligan win rate and the third highest kept win rate or kept percentage, and like the third highest shot win rate, and like the fifth highest played win rate. It's still insane.
Yeah, I
It's
think
just a really strong card.
this card is still fine.
It's just now instead of playing it on 2 and actually just being like anti-aggro body, it's more of a okay, maybe I play it on turn 6 and play 2 secrets with it
Sure.
and get some value out of it, as opposed to being both, because you could stick threat to contest your opponent's 1/2s 2 and not have to worry about it dying and being able to play secrets with it. But in wild, obviously, this card was like it wasn't
Yeah,
good.
and Wild's Secret Rogue saw some play, but mostly for memes, and it was kind of like
Yeah, every time I
the
saw it, I was
bottom
like, what
of
was my
tier
opponent
4.
doing?
Like bottom of
They never seen anything
T4.
strong.
Like sometimes they'll scam you
Yeah.
out of wins because they'll get like random ice blocks and stuff, like or like explosive ruins and just smork you, or just random
Yeah, I think
like
the
whenever
nerf
you get
makes a lot of sense.
whenever you get mage secrets, it's good. But
They would have been much worse if they. I think they would have killed the card if they increased the mana, because the way it, like, it's this card's great only against like aggro. Like if you're a reactive like control warrior deck, secrets hardly bother you.
yeah,
Like it would take a while. It would be fairly uncommon that like you'd be doing. So they just sit there and do nothing until eventually you win.
right.
So like it's only good in some matchups, and I think in those 5 health is a little too much, a little too strong at doing so many different things. And this will have it still see play, still be good,
Yeah.
but be more removable in like aggro mirror matchups and other mid-range matchups that it'll not be as oppressive potentially.
I never owned this card, but if I had, I would have disenchanted it for the dust and never looked back. So
I don't know about that. That's a good card.
yeah,
Suppose.
it's in Rogue, and Secret Rogue doesn't particularly interest me, but I guess maybe. All right, next card goes along with that, and I think this is the more impactful nerf
Oh
to that
man,
deck. So now
I don't understand why this card exists. Why does it's like a sap? It's a sap on steroids.
oh, absolutely, it's a sap for one
Why does it
less
have to make
mana.
it cost more?
It's a sap
It's a
for one
freezing
less
trap
mana.
sap
Yeah,
with a it's one less mana. It comes with a body. You like freezing trap it immediately, and you just like a targeted freezing. And all you have to do is like own a secret, which is like, hey, you gave me 2 card draw, thanks. It's like I don't.
right, exactly.
Even if you have like the latest comes down, it's like okay, maybe turn 3, so that's like one drawback because you don't always play. What are you sapping on turn 3, other than like maybe Edwin? That if you don't, you'll lose the game.
Right.
And half those games you have coin, so you can play it on 2 if you absolutely have to. This card is just insane. I feel like this card's got to be good.
I think this card
But
might be, if Secret Rogue
they
continues
definitely
to
run
be
2 of
good.
them in Galakron Secret Rogue. It's one of the reasons you would run this in Galakron Secret Rogue.
Oh, absolutely. If this card, or if Secret Rogue continues to be powerful in standard, and if it ever becomes powerful in wild, this card is the reason why, and it'll be looking at potentially getting more nerfs.
So this is the 4th highest mulligan, right? Much lower in cap because it's matchup dependent when you'd want it in your opener.
Because this is
drawn right though. It's number 2. It's number 2 drawn right after Galak.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Against aggro, it prevents face damage, and against control, it can
Played
bounce
run rate,
taunts.
it's in the top. You know, it's up there with the 5 legendaries: Galakron, Togwaggle, Praise Galakron, and then this card. It's like in the secret card we just talked about. Very good. just going after Galakron, Secret Rogue, and Standard, basically. But I think even in Wild, if you can figure out a rogue deck that's like somewhat good, it is an odd rogue, obviously, because you can't run secrets.
This
But
probably finds a home, and
this card's gonna be very good in the future when it
yes,
finds a home.
as more
In terms of
rogues,
Wild, obviously it has a home in
right after when more rogue secrets get printed, this card will continue to see more and more play as more secrets get printed because there'll be more versatility to it, to the deck that runs it. So that's all we're gonna say about that one, I think.
Card is very good.
It is very good. So
Trying
now
to
we're.
look up.
Do you want to go back?
I'll talk about it if I find one more.
Okay.
For literally an hour ago, they released like the deck looks for week 6. This card's in it. They're just running Secret Galakron still.
Yeah.
Still the best rogue deck. Still very good. Definitely a good nerf. I don't even know if it's strong enough. Why does it have to make it cost more? I guess it's like the benefit they think you have to have a secret. You add a benefit to it. Maybe the benefit being one cheaper, having a body enough to me. I wouldn't be surprised in half a year. The cost one more is gone too.
Yeah,
Like
I would.
stays.
Or the mana, mana cost increases if they really want to nerf it hard.
Mana cost would be.
That'd be pretty.
Probably too bad. Doubling the mana is a huge deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
it's certainly possible.
Yeah, definitely an insanely good card.
Yeah. The next
one day it'll
card,
be in Wild and it'll be quite fun.
The next card is Bloodsworn Mercenary, which is being nerfed from a 3/3 to a 2/2. So in Wild, this saw no play.
Yeah, I mean, temporary play with like damaging Corkrons and Leroy's, but eventually they just realized, it's not very good.
Yes. So
It's like a Wild Galakron Warrior. Did that ever run it?
That's really not a deck in Wild.
No.
I
saw it occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, that's mostly people who have come over from Standard and are trying to make it work. But
sure.
I mean, could Galakron Warrior be good? Maybe. I think this card is better with Garrosh than with Galakron, sure, because you can just hero power and damage everything.
No, this is a card you want to play well before you play Galakron or Garrosh.
Unless you're using it as a combo enabler.
It's a good tempo and good. I mean, yeah,
it's pretty good with like Frothing Berserker. It's pretty good with like anything that cares about being damaged or having damaged minions. Like the next card, the Blood Boil, whatever it's called, the Rush guy. It's pretty good with like Garrosh if you're ever playing it there.
Apparently, there's an Egg Warrior deck list that runs this card.
Hmm.
That has like Rage Risky Skipper, Armor Smith. It runs Serpent Egg, Ankle, Mercenary, Bomb Wrangler. Are these all? These might all be standard cards, but hilarious. Ankar, pretty. This looks funny.
So if you're gonna throw this in a Tempo Warrior,
yeah.
So
this deck was insanely strong. This card.
Yeah, in Standard, you mean?
Yeah, this card is very good. Warriors, I think, the best in Standard. You just run the Enrage with this and bombs and you like AoE your opponent's board down and go face. You never use your minions to trade. You never have to use weapons to trade. You literally just go face, chip damage the entire game. Every time they play something, you just like wait. AoE, gain a bunch of armor, kill him. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's doing after the nerf, because that's a fairly sizable nerf to nerf it in 2 ways.
Yeah, my thought on this is the reason this card is good is not because of the stats. The effect is
the effect obviously good, but stats matter a lot in Standard when you're playing this on turn 3, turn 4.
Like obviously, if you're playing Curve Stone, then you'd rather have a 3/3 than a 2/2 to smork a little bit better, to trade a little bit better. But I think
3 mana 2/2 stat line's pretty bad. Very few 3 mana 2/2 C play.
That's fair.
There's a very few exceptions, like Stitch Tracker kind of sometimes, but even then, you generally don't want to play that card if you have another option.
Right, Zola the Gorgon is a legendary that sees play, but
it's another one.
But yeah, point well taken. If it's a 3-mana 2/2, it has to have a super powerful effect, normally a battle cry, that affects the board in some way or is a combo enabler. And I think that's where this card will end up falling, is more into a combo sort of deck if it's ever gonna see play in something like Wild, for example. I don't think it's a good enough tempo card.
This card still seems pretty soft. It's definitely a nice little. It's nice because Touch the Nerfs used to be nuke the card into oblivion. Generally, and this one will kind of bring Warrior more in line and stay.
Yeah.
Wild, if it ever finds a home and a use, the stats really won't matter. Probably it'll be something absurd like make 3 Gromma Shell Screams in the same and have them all attack twice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, something wild
Something like
eventually
that
will happen, but
yeah. Especially with like Thaurissan ticks and stuff like that. Like Thaurissan makes any card good that has a powerful effect because the cost doesn't really matter. You can just like cheese it out.
yeah, fine card.
All right, good nerf, and probably still playable in standard. Probably going to continue to be unplayed in wild, as it was before. Bloodboil Brute. So this is a 7 mana, costs 1 less for each damage minion, has rush.
Standard Warrior.
Another good card in Standard Warrior. Has 1 less attack now, so it removes slightly smaller things if you're using it for removal, which you probably are.
Also slightly less oppressive when
it lives.
Play on turn 4 and hit your.
Sure. Yeah. See, with this nerf, I think it'd be almost better to nerf the health so that it sticks around a little bit less efficiently. But I mean, nerfing the stats is what's good. Is the stats are what's good about this card, combined with like rush and cheating it out. So like, nerfing the stats is fine. It'll see probably about the same play as it did. In the decks that it's good, it will continue to be one of the better cards. In the decks that it's bad, it won't see play. So, anything else to add on that card?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a matter of people still having to find out new deck lists, but the same people that are playing Secret Rogue still and Grandmasters are still playing Enraged Warrior.
Yeah.
What this and the last one, they're still good, just slightly less.
All right. Next. So now we have the Imprisoned Scrap Imp. This one actually affects me slightly. So this card is changed from give all minions in your hand 2 and 2 to 2 and 1. The discard lock that I was running in Wild most of the time was running this card because buffing, like for example, the Nightshade Matron or a Doom Guard can be very, very good. I think it's a fine nerf. I mean, a lot of people were starting to figure out that this card wasn't that good and starting to replace it with other things in that deck. But I think it's fine. I don't know much about the standard, how it was being used in standard, but I assume just like Galakrond Zoo or something.
This card was a problem in standard.
Really? Okay.
Anytime in Hearthstone, well, your mulligan for a deck is get rid of everything in hopes to find a 2-mana card, which you like 1 2-mana card. Like Zoolak was find Scrap Imp, win game.
Yeah. So kind of how it used to be with like Keleseth.
It ran the 1-mana 0/4 taunt because it would just get buffed by this. Good enough.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, Zoolak right now put this in the old as a solid 17.8% win rate and a solid 49% win rate and another list. And they've actually switched to Murloc in terms of like a Zoo aggro Warlock.
Still runs Murlocs in.
They run Murloc Warlock with the Nightshade Matron Hand of Guzan package and this card.
Yeah, that seems good. That interaction is busted. Nightshade may
But yeah,
turn into Hand of Gul'dan.
it's
That's a busted
very good.
interaction. Because it lets you
Shows
control the
it's smart
board, it's
merchant.
big, and it lets
And
you
it-
draw. Alright. But yeah, 4 mana, 5/5 rush, draw 3 cards, it's busted.
Being on the Grandmaster train, the guy I'm looking at played Rogue and Warrior back to back, but played Warlock last week and not this. Gave up on his Warlock after this.
Gotcha.
1 health is sig,
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
when it's an
If it's an aggro deck, then that 1 health makes things die easier, which makes your opponent remove them more often and makes the deck
It's still
worse.
good.
Still good, just not as
Much less
impressive.
good.
Still good, but much
Your
less good.
1/1s, your 1/1s that you play after this now died up 2 instead of 3. So
Right. And that's a
it'll
pretty
make your cards
important
much
break
less
point.
good, oppressively early game.
Yes. Alright. Is that the last one? Nope, we have Hunter still. So Scavenger's Ingenuity changes from draw a beast, give it +3 and 3, to draw a beast, give it +2 and 2. So this one again, I opened a couple of these day one. Back when the set was still being announced, I saw this in the Beastmaster Lorax, and I was like, whoa, we should build like hand buff big beasts with like charged Devil Swords and King Crush, and I think I pulled it off once and decided it was terrible and never played it again. But I crafted Beastmaster Lorax to do it, so now I feel bad. But in any case, so that's the only use I've seen for it. That's the only use that I've personally used it for. I know this card
It's good use for
it sees play
is
in
to draw
Highlander Hunter with Zixor.
Diving Griffin.
Diving
So, yeah,
Griffin.
The Diving Griffin
4 mana
is
1.
the 3 mana 4/1 rush,
3 mana 4/1, yeah.
as well as the new 3 mana legendary,
Zixor.
both of which are beasts. Yep, Zixor.
Zixor is quite good with this for sure.
I don't know.
So is the prime version of Zixor.
It looks like in standard they run Dragon Highlander Hunter, and even that runs this card because of those 2 rush.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if before they ran a different version and now this is better. I kind of doubt this nerf changed this card much.
No, I mean that the
It's
extra
not
1/1 matters,
strong,
but it's not like crazy. I don't think this was a card that needed to be nerfed. At least not in Wild,
right.
maybe in Standard.
Can't find it on kept 1%. Sample size might be kind of small. I know it's.
I think in Highlander Hunter, the reason that it sees play is because there's so many. I mean, you have to play 30 different cards, so this is just fine to draw your rush stuff.
It also sees playing standard Face Hunter because you can draw Stone Tuskabors.
Sure.
As well as your Phase Stalkers.
Yeah.
Both of which are very good cards when you're hitting your opponent in the face and doing powerful things.
Yeah,
Imagine the deck is play while making those decks that run it slightly less strong.
Draw a card and give it stats is pretty good.
According to HO's replay, Hunter's still the best class in Standard.
Like, what was that 3 mana Paladin card? Draw your lowest cost card and give it +2 and 2. Call to Adventure? That card saw play. Because it drew a specific thing and it gave it stats. So those cards will always be solid. Yeah, targeted card draw is very good always, because even if you don't care about the stats on this card, you could be like, oh, I'm doing some combo where a beast is the centerpiece, and I need that combo piece. So
yeah, so far these nerfs are pretty solid. They're nerfing cards instead of nuking them into oblivion.
Yeah. All right, and that is the end of the nerfs that actually happened. So as far as how this affects the meta, I personally have experienced the wild meta did not change at all. A few people decided to start running Galvadon Paladin with like Librams in it, or like OTK Libram Pally, but that is a tier 3 deck. It doesn't affect much. I was watching a standard streamer the other day. I think it was Zeddy. I was watching Zeddy the other day, and I asked him about like the nerfs and such, and he was very disgruntled, it seemed like, with how little it did for the standard meta. The same decks that were good are good, and the buffs also were similar.
Just trying to make them slightly less good, ideally.
Sure.
People are used to Hearthstone nerfs changing the meta a lot because they nuke cards.
Yeah.
Those are the benefiting what is good in archetypes, but can also be kind of lame when an archetype you like just gets ruined.
Yeah. So as far for wild players, we were all expecting when the round of nerfs was announced that we would be seeing some nerfs to like Quest Mage, maybe Odd Demon Hunter did get nerfed, to be fair. Maybe Raza Priest, maybe Pirate Warrior, maybe Cubelock. Those are the top 5 decks right now. So I wanted to talk about what changes I would make if Blizzard cared about Wild, which they don't, but if they cared about Wild, which changes I think that they should make, or at least things that they could be looking at making.
I definitely care about Wild. The original philosophy was to never touch it, which is very characteristic of someone who doesn't care about Wild. But
They are.
Nerfing, it's just slightly slower. It takes a little bit longer. A lot less people play Wild.
That's fair. So
it's harder to get the data to support their nerfs.
Fair.
I mean, even on HS replay, there's one Warlock deck that is to warn, and most of the classes still have none. And it requires 212 games to be played with someone using it.
Yeah.
There's the standard where you just click on Hunter. 10 above 200.
Yeah. So I wanted
to be more careful because they still want to keep the hope of playing the same thing for eternity still exists while trying to make it fun for the set player a lot.
Yeah. So for Quest Mage,
it's definitely better.
So Quest Mage they already nerfed by making it 8 spells instead of 6. That has made it a tiny bit slower, normally by about a turn or 2. I very often see people completing quests on turn 5 or 6 because of the nuts of evocation. So this nerf is hard, right? Because sometimes, a lot of people want to see it nerfed from orbit, nuked from orbit, make the quest unplayable. My personal thoughts on this is I want to nerf Flame Waker, and here's why. So most wild decks that care about face damage are running Flame Waker, historically and obviously now with Quest Mage. And with Flame Waker, like Flame Waker goes so hard in the paint against like Demon Hunter and Pirate Warrior. It's the only thing that makes those matchups even kind of winnable, because those are heavily favored for the aggro decks. But if on turn 4 you play Flame Waker, Coin, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Ray of Frost, Ray of Frost, Ray of Frost, Ray of Frost, Evocation, like if you rip like 4 spells, first of all, the opponent no longer has a board at all. If they have any board, it's frozen, and you just pushed a ton of face damage. So Flame Waker can win you those aggro matchups that you really should have no right winning. If you change it so that it comes down later or does less or dies easier, then suddenly the aggro matchups have a chance to blow you out, and I think that'll be enough to drive Quest Mage out of the meta a little bit, because people can run aggro to beat it more efficiently. So my proposed change is changing Flame Waker to a 4-mana 2/3. So it's a little bit easier to kill, and it comes down a little bit later. That extra mana does matter. A lot of people have been calling for Sorcerer's Apprentice to be nerfed to not reduce below 1, which would also be a solid nerf in my opinion.
Certainly sounds like it would fix your problem of evocationing and having 4 Ray of Frost in the same turn.
Yeah.
Flame Waker is not nearly as good if you can't play these 0-mana spells.
That is absolutely valid. But I personally, Sorcerer's Apprentice is a cool card. I think
I would personally prefer them to something that's strict standard mage with that specific Sorcerer's Apprentice. I mean, that card might be good forever and just like kind of depends on the meta and what the decks are good. But I'd like to nerf Wild's Flame. but you could also, I mean, I guess this goes again. Nerf Mana Cyclone. So
Yeah.
they don't have the refresh. Like they go all in, they play a ton of spells, hit you for a lot. Doesn't it seem a little ridiculous that they can just get it all back and do it again?
Right, exactly.
And obviously that card's in standard, but it's gonna leave eventually. Sorcerer's Apprentice is, there forever. So that I
Until
like
they
that
Hall
change.
of Fame it.
I mean, even if you make it 3 mana, so that evocation doesn't make it free, I feel like that. I mean, that alone delays going off if you want to use the Mana Cyclone with your Sorcerer's Apprentice and with your Flame Wake.
Oh, absolutely.
That,
Yeah, also another solid nerf. Any of those 3 nerfs, but I don't like.
Yeah.
So people are calling for like Time Warp to cost like 7 or 8, which is fine, but I think it just makes it so unplayable in
Time
any
Warp's
other.
going to always be good because there's no drawback to playing randomly generated spells.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a strong effect because it's supposed to be kind of hard and not all that good to like. And it's just what you're good to complete it. You can play all these cards. Who cares if like the card you're playing isn't that good when you're shooting 2 damage and it like costs you almost nothing, or sometimes actually nothing, and you can just get reroll again. So the quest, you can nerf it as many times as you want. It'll still be good.
Yeah, people will still run it.
It'll still. You could nerf it from more of it, but you also could say, okay, maybe there's other problems.
And it doesn't matter if it costs 7. It doesn't matter if it costs 7 mana if they're going to play a bunch of 0 mana giants with it. Like,
right. It doesn't matter how much it costs.
They'll just wait until the turn they can play it and then play the giants.
Take your turns and kill you.
Yeah.
Most games, 2 giants gets there because people have 30 health.
Yeah.
Play 2 giants. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. They're dead.
Well,
and that's if they're like at 30 health.
Sure. And with Flame Waker, they rarely are.
Right.
All right. So next deck, Odd Demon Hunter. I don't think this deck needs to be nerfed. I think sure, it's powerful. It's a Baku deck. It's pretty powerful anyways. If I was going to nerf anything, I would maybe nerf Hench Clan Thug. It's been oppressive in Odd Rogue. It's been oppressive in Odd Demon Hunter. It's a big thing. It drops on turn 3 or 4, and they immediately attack, and it's a 4/4. Like 3 mana 4/4s are a bit unfair when they continue to Hench Clan Thug. Yes, Odd Demon Hunter.
You think maybe Hench Clan should be nerfed?
Maybe
nerfing Odd,
which will also be a stealth nerf to Odd Rogue, which doesn't see much play anymore, but
one of the better.
It is one of the better rogue decks, yes.
I don't know. I think it'll get more cards, and then either be more or less of a problem based on other classes also get. It's just not that fun to play or play against, in my opinion. It's kind of similar to a lot of other things in Hearthstone.
Sure, but it had
the reason 1 mana deal kind of fun.
Metamorphosis.
It's good.
Are you talking about
1 mana deal too? Just your upgraded hero power.
Oh yeah, that's very good.
Very good.
Yeah, it's like
hero powering is. I mean, that's the problem. That's why Ganon and Baku got removed so quick. Because hero powering is supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be kind of expensive for what it does, but it's something you can kind of slowly work toward, like marginal resource gains and tempo gains.
Yeah,
like preserving things. And these decks where you play it every turn and it's just good.
Yeah.
So I mean, Odd Demon Hunter is just kind of gonna exist.
The reason it does exist is because of things like Quest Mage being in the meta, and that's the only way to beat it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Wild's gonna be a rock paper scissors aggro combo and
maybe occasional control, but like yeah,
it's just gonna be what decks are that change and what are in the. I mean, somehow Big Priest fell off. I don't know how that happened.
Because Big Priest is exactly as strong as it was before, but it just but Quest Mage and Raza Priest are just busted. So
yeah,
because the power level
of the games before you can do anything.
Yeah. So Raza Priest,
I wouldn't touch Demon Hunter. It's too fresh.
Yeah, that's why I was saying is I don't think it needs a nerf, but if it does get nerfed again, Hench Clan Thug is my choice.
Ideally, when they release a new card, it's fresh and new in enough that ways that it's fine if it's good.
Sure.
Hasn't been around a year like these other decks have.
Yeah. So Raza Priest, the cards that I want to look at nerfing there are either Shadow Reaper, Anduin, or Spawn of Shadows. The Spawn of Shadows nerf is a little bit easier for me to explain. So I think if you make it 5 mana, or if you make it 5 mana and the effect deals 3 to each instead of 4 to each, makes it a little bit harder to do it like tons and tons of damage. Or if you change the effect from Inspire to Battle Cry, it becomes nerfed from Orbit. So that's the option for Spawn of Shadows. For Anduin, you could nerf him to 10. It's a pretty easy change. You could change the Battle Cry to only kill minions that have 7 attack or more, like a big game hunter sort of effect. That would make more things live.
There's no way they're ever gonna do this third suggestion.
No, they won't. The third suggestion that I have. The third suggestion that I have is you change the hero power to scale for damage. So the first one does 1, the second one in a turn does 2, the third one in a turn does 3. So like,
so you're saying you might like the hero power better, unless you're saying the mana also increases. That just makes it better.
You're right. I didn't think that through. Never mind. Disregard what I just said.
I guess if you do 3, it's the same amount of face damage. But if you're killing things, it's like significantly. When I first read this, I thought you meant like the mana increased as you did it, but you could. I mean, it could be each turn it starts at 1. But on turns when they play 5/0 mana spells, this is gonna be way better.
Yeah, on turns where you play a bunch of cards, this is better. On turns where like you're hero powering, playing 1 card, hero powering, and passing.
If you want the nerf deck, is to get rid of Raza. We have proof for that.
Yeah.
But if they like Raza, they find it to be fun. They find it to be a worthwhile experience.
Yeah,
it probably makes the most sense. If you just make it a little bit slower, nerf Anduin to 10, do nothing else.
Yeah.
See what that does. That's what I'd like to see the most out of yours. Spawn of Shadows is such a gimmicky card. It's only ever seen played in this deck. You could make it 5 mana, and that would limit the amount of damage by like probably around 4. You'd like have 1 less 1 mana spell. That's like okay.
Yeah.
But the Anduin to 10 sounds pretty solid. Sounds like the most reasonable.
Yeah. And obviously, just like
it would barely even hurt it. Most games, you're like, "Where's my Anduin?" Finally, got it. It's 10 mana anyway. But it would make the games where they play it on 8 when you're like just trying to kill them with big minions.
Yeah.
Or big minion or 2. Or you're like a control combo deck and they just do it first. It'd slow it down.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think that's pretty solid nerf. Most games it wouldn't matter, but the games it does, it would be a good solid one.
That's kind of
I think Raza Priest you're gonna have to get used to for like the rest of.
Raza Priest is quite good until they nerf it. Yeah. I mean, if you nerf Raza, the deck becomes unplayed again. So I mean that's.
Think it's a
Do I think it's oppressive?
Yeah. Do you think it?
I think any control deck that you want to play you can't play right now because of Raza Priest.
Well, that's a lot of more reasons that you can't play control decks in Hearthstone.
No, this is the only reason.
Win conditions.
So Raza, Raza Priest can kill you from 30 in 1 turn, and it's kind of their game plan. So unless you're armoring up a ton, you can't get. And like I've played Odd Warrior quite a bit, probably more than most people. And as Odd Warrior,
if that's the case, what you really want to do is you want to slow it down, make it harder for them to stay alive, and nerf other things.
Yeah,
they would use to get to that point.
Sure.
Like Wild's the place where 30 damage OTKs are allowed to exist.
Yeah.
And happen.
Well, here's the issue though. It's not a 30 damage OTK because I will play Odd Warrior and be at 80 health, and they will still win against me. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This deck does not do 80 in a turn, but
not in a turn, but they can easily deal 40 or 50 in a turn. So
yeah, I think that's a match. That's enough for Anduin to 10. If this deck becomes stale in another couple of months.
Yeah, I think it eventually will become stale, and if they, it will eventually become stale, and they'll start doing.
It'll really become a problem when in 2 expansions they run all the same AoEs and all the same draw cards and all the same things because it's just nothing fun and new that's like slightly better than what they had before. That's when it'll get really.
Yeah.
When you don't have like a new renew at least to like kind of make it more fun.
Yeah.
And everything's the exact same.
And
I mean,
maybe
you could even nerf the deck like nerfing Psychic Stream. That's a card people wanted to nerf back when it was in standard for this kind of deck because it would slow them down and staying alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this deck's needs to be killed yet.
I mean, and this deck will continue to get better as they print
I don't see
more
it that often.
more removal and they print more like Highlander cards because they keep on printing Highlander cards. So it's safe to assume that
make
they'll
it better. Yeah.
So the next deck,
I think for this deck is just having other priest decks that you can. If you have other good priest decks that by itself should keep kind of reason. But if in Wild all you really can play is Marina Priest, that's probably a problem.
Yeah.
So maybe the answer isn't nerfing it, but buffing other stuff. Hey,
maybe.
Big brain.
I'm big on the train of buffing more stuff because the Boomstay buffs were really, really fun. They ended up reverting a few of them, like the what was it, the Luna's Pocket Galaxy. But it was really fun. It was really fun, and it made some cards that saw no play become suddenly meta-defining. That's the kind of content I like to see. The buffs that they had this time around just feel very underwhelming. So last two...
I think their buffs and their generally okay, especially if they're doing them more than they used to.
Yeah. So the last two of these top 5 decks, Pirate Warrior... I think the change is pretty simple. You can just like nerf Corsair Cache, make it 3 mana, draw a weapon, and give it +1 attack. So the reason Corsair Cache,
you want to double nerf it?
I do.
With like a 2 mana give a weapon +1 attack is a humongous nerf.
It's pretty big.
The 1 health is like the best part of the card.
Correct.
Maybe the curated draw might be the best, but the +1 health is definitely in contention for being the best.
Yeah, I think you can do both.
I think
you can do one of these. So I mean the reason this card is run as a 2 of in decks where there's only 1 weapon is because you draw this on 2, you play it, you get a 3/3 Ankar, and suddenly you have enough durability that you can just kind of keep on buffing it with Bloodsail Cultists and Greenskin because you can draw into them. And upgrade. As a 2/2, you find it really hard to preserve the weapon buff long enough.
Get one hit before you can, if you don't hit a buff.
Exactly.
Whereas now I think 2 mana, if you want to nerf Corsair Cache, just make it 2 mana, give 1 attack.
Yeah. And that'll...
I think if you're going to spend a mana drawing a weapon, giving it + attack is like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, and Pirate Warrior is like strong, but it's not.
The reason it's a problem, I guess, is technically because of Ankar, but
yeah,
I understand why you don't want to nerf Ankar again.
Right. And I don't know how you would really, unless you take another durability away from it.
Or an attack, but yeah, it would just feel so bad to go below 2 on either of those numbers.
Correct.
Go to 4 mana, I suppose.
Maybe.
Still kill the card. 4 mana 2/2 seems pretty bad.
Yeah.
Fair enough, drawing pirates. I don't know. Corsair Cache is a fine nerf. Otherwise, there's plenty of other deck.
Yeah.
The 2 mana 2/3 shooty cannon thing is gonna be a good card.
Yeah.
Pretty much the rest of Hearthstone Wild's history.
Yeah. It's like it's a strong reason to play pirates.
Till they printed pirates like 4 years later.
Yeah.
That card existed in what was only standard at the time for so long.
Yeah.
You're like, what a stupid card. 2 pirates in this game. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, I got 12 1-drop pirates here.
Seems good.
And some will make more.
I've played a lot of Pirate Warrior in my day.
It's a good card.
All right. So the last deck is Cubelock, a deck that is near and dear to your heart.
Cubelock needs no nerfs.
Cubelock
is perfect. Cubelock needs to be buffed. It's too weak.
I think
this off 9 mana, so you can play that and then complete the curve. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm
obviously
all for N'Zoth being 9 mana, but I would not run it in Q block. I'd go and play my other decks that I like N'Zoth in. But so the nerf that I want to see, it's a pretty like so Void Caller is in every Warlock deck ever, and it's because 4 mana get a random demon from your hand is oppressive when there's Void Lord, Doomguard, even an Enhanced Dreadlord, and to an extent Mal'Ganis. But like those cards are so good. And
would you run a 4-mana 4/3 that when it died a 4/3 came out of it? It's like a Dread State on steroids. It's even not that bad when you hit Void Caller, because 4-mana 4/3 is a fairly okay stat line.
Yeah.
It's obviously under what it should, but the effect is just insane.
You mean
You're never sad if that
yeah.
card hits a demon, even if it hits Void Caller itself. The other one, you're not upset most of the time. Sometimes you like it could be, but you shouldn't be mad you lost a game because it didn't do something broken.
Yeah,
that's just part of what doing broken stuff is. Is sometimes it doesn't happen. That card's so good.
Yes, this card is one of the best cards in Q block in my opinion, and other than like Gul'dan himself.
I mean, yeah.
So
it's
so the reason that it's good is because you cheat out big things. Like against aggro, against aggro on turn 4, you just like play a Void Caller, sack packed it, or turn 5 Void Caller, Plague of Flames, and you have a 3/9 in the way, and they never get through it, and you win. Against control decks, you play Void Caller on 4. On 5, you like sack packed it, get a Doomguard out, play cube,
do whatever,
like whatever you're gonna do. But like you get Doomguards and you smack them in the face, and they can't do enough about it because 5/7 is a busted stat line, and you just die. So my change for this is to just so I increased it to 6 mana, and because I increased it to 6 mana, I made it a 5/4. So 6 mana 5/4, summon a random demon from your hand, and I think that would still see play. It gives aggro a bit more chances. It gives control a bit more chance to like have answers.
5/4.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on 6 mana 5/4? You think what?
No longer a reason to run Void Caller.
Yeah, maybe.
Play the weapon.
Maybe you make it a 5 mana. 5 mana 3/4.
Interesting. I'm looking at the Q block, the current one that I played in the other day. It's the only HSV play deck with enough data.
Okay. There. Sure.
And I'm running through it. It's top 2 in every category except 1. So it's the highest mulligan win rate card. It's the second percentage.
Repeat that again?
It shouldn't be too hard to figure out the other one if you really think about it. It's the highest mulligan win rate. It's the second highest cap. So you see a Void Lord, you keep a Void Lord.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
Yep.
The only thing better at that, which you can probably figure out if you think about it, the card you keep the most in this deck.
Gul'dan. Or not keep. Skull.
No.
No?
Skull is 3.
Defile?
And 2 on mulligan win rate. No, Cobalt Librarian is the highest cap percentage card.
Oh, it's a 1-drop, yeah. Sure.
And like the 5th highest win rate.
Yeah.
Cobalt Librarian's very.
It's a powerful card.
Drawn win rate, Void Color's 2. So it goes 1 mulligan, 2 cap, 2 drawn win rate. Drawn win rate actually is Skull is the highest.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Because less people run weapon removal most of the time than like silence.
Funny enough, I don't think you'd ever guess this. What do you think the highest played % win rate card is in
Merchant?
For context, Void Caller is 6th.
Merchant
is 5th from the bottom.
Oh, well, I'm bad at this. I don't know the deck very well.
Played win rate is Dark Skies, N'Zoth, Plague of Flames, Defile, Felbolt, Merchant. At the bottom 6 cards. What do you think the top card played win rate is? This kind of blows my mind. I guess it makes sense. This card's nuts.
Defile.
Most time you get this card on the board, you won.
Oh.
Played win rate is usually dominated by like win condition cards. Like Grommash Hellscream will always have the highest played win rate. Like Leroy always will have the highest played win rate. Because when you play the card, you win.
Right.
What do you think it is in Cube?
Cube?
Gul'dan's 4. Cube is 5.
Mal'Ganis.
I would not have guessed this either. There you go.
Yeah, I guess you like you play Mal'Ganis and you hit him in the face for a bunch.
On your board, and you win a lot of those games.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
You just have
That took me far too long.
Board. Obviously, Mal'Ganis is really low on Mulligan Run Right, and you'd hope kept as well as it's actually third highest on Duran, which is fun. But that makes these cards because they're demons. Normally that'd be lower if you had to play it for 9. The best 3 cards in terms of Duran Win Rate are just hey, I scammed this game. Void Collar, Skolominari, and Mal'Ganis. Have fun killing me.
Yeah. All right, so that is the end of our balance changes segment. That took a bunch of time there, but I think it was good content.
Yeah. You like Void Collar? I don't know if I'd touch it. The problem with Q-Block is it's probably going to exist forever, so you probably eventually have to do something.
Right. It'll just get better.
It is nice when new things, like, it's like right now it's such a bad time to nerf it, because it just got, like, Wild is pretty impressive when you change that many cards in a deck.
Yeah, it got like Dreadlord and Felbolt.
You have Enhanced Dreadlord.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the deck's just getting better, which is a problem in itself, but it's at least fun when you're getting new cards.
Yeah. It does feel
like stupid.
If it was the same deck over and over and over, expansion after expansion, then it needs a nerf for sure. But like, yeah,
You're still gonna have your winners. Void Collar's a very good card. You could make it 5 mana.
Yeah, 5 mana I would still see play.
It would definitely increase the amount of times you scam a mage. But who's really upset when you? They deserve it.
Secret Mage, yeah, they do deserve it.
I mean, Secret Mage is still vastly more popular than Quest Mage and the majority of Wild. Probably not in Legend, but
right. It's
the majority of Wild gamers.
That's because people value quick games and they want to like climb quickly. So most people below Legends are playing Secret Mage, so they want to go.
It's just also what a lot of them realize. Like to them, feels like the best deck.
Yeah. Well. They're like, oh, I got smacked in the face.
Funny?
Yeah.
When you're talking about the Flamewalker nerf, and I was thinking about other nerfs, I was like, wait a minute, is there both Secret and Quest Mage both run that we could nerf? Because they don't run a singular card.
No.
Not
they
a
do not.
singular card.
They're very different archetypes.
That's crazy. That's what you need to see for Priest to make Reno Priest. I mean, obviously, Big Priest kind of compete in terms of like.
They see a lot of the similar cards.
Different, but fairly similarly strong, and then Wild would be a lot more fun because you see a mage, you don't go, oh, Quest Mage, sweet. It's like it's one of 3 mages, you know.
Well, that's actually what I hate about. That's actually what I hate about Warlock. You don't know how to mulligan.
You don't know what it is.
Yeah, because
I feel like it's so much healthier.
Disco Lock, you have Cube Lock,
and
you have Mechathune Lock, and all 3 of them have different play styles, and all 3 of them you have to mulligan differently for.
That's really good. That means Warlock's a really good class.
Yes, it is.
The problem with there being only one is it's like, oh, it's a priest, I lose this because it's Reno Priest. Where it's like, you don't know if you lose until it's the thing, and you'll hit it less often because people are playing different decks. So when you verse a priest, you go, oh, I'll lose. It's less rock, paper, scissors when there's more decks to play for each class, and generally more fun. I mean, and I think you'd like to play against more stuff. You've said that many times.
I would, yes. I would like to play against more stuff, and I'd like to play
more than 3 decks.
Yeah, I'd like to play more decks, and I'd like to play against more decks for sure.
So one option is to nerf stuff, but I feel like for Wild, get more cards, buff some cards is also very.
Buffing some Wild cards would be pog. Good. I would love that.
This is just going to be strong things in Wild. That's just what Wild's. That's why most times they nerf cards, now Wild players are like, don't really do much.
Yeah.
And then Hearthstone realizes that, like, okay, we'll nerf Blood Bloom, obliterate that archetype from the game. I haven't seen it once.
No, Darkest Hour is unplayable now.
I didn't really ever see it that much before because I wasn't in Legend, but that deck as well as Naga, I could see why both of those were just stupid and didn't. So they've gone in and they've nerfed some cards from Orbit that should be. Keep things in control because they understand that most of the nerfs they're doing do nothing.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next segment. So these are the responses that we saw on the Twitter post that we sent out. So
mine's number 2 because I also got endorsement. Okay, they're all over it. They're eating it up.
Yes. All right.
So are we
So
randoming that?
we are. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
ask my my Google Home Assistant. Okay, Google, pick a random number between 1 and 8.
Am I
8.
doing one and you're doing one and we're playing?
No, I was just gonna do 1. Well, Google said
We're
8.
just gonna do...
Yeah. So Google said 8. So we're doing even Recruit Warrior from Casual
Wait,
Fridays.
so we're both playing it and then we're playing against each other? See who's is better. Is that the idea? Or not, we just both building one deck together. And
I
playing,
was
like,
gonna
on
say
ladder?
we both build one deck together, and
Mm.
we take it to ladder and we co-pilot it. We can do your thing too. I don't hate that idea.
No, I like the idea of both of us building something ridiculously silly and playing it together. Although you do have a lot of legend points now, so you'd feel less bad about losing with even Recruit Warrior.
Yeah, that's kind of also.
We
what
could
I
always
did.
change too. We could do one this week, one a different week. I like the idea of doing more than. It feels bad to only do one when you have so many.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Is
Might not
we
always have
take
this many as well.
we take that off and then we keep the other 7.
Yeah, do 1 through 7, and then I'll play whatever like Google gives me, and then we'll have time to make it, and then we'll play each other. And fully non-looked up
Well, we're already gonna, we're doing this right now.
random archetype versus random. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna build it from scratch, though. You're not gonna look it up.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Like,
We're building this from
some of
scratch.
these exist already.
Yes,
Igna's
absolutely.
not very creative, specifically.
don't say that. Igna's great. No,
he's
but
very good. I don't like his suggestions.
yes, that's fair. But so we're.
Right,
How about we
roll it? And let's hope I don't get.
Oh, so I'm rolling for you.
Yeah, I think that'd be funner if we both make one.
Would you rather do a mirror match?
Either.
Let's. You know what? We'll
Mirror's
let you do a different one. So, okay, Google.
Yeah.
Pick a number between 1 and 7.
Here's a random number, 2.
You are playing Lackeylock.
No way.
The one that you put on there.
Oh god, I don't know how to make this. I never even really played it in standard.
Well, you get to learn now.
Right.
Can I suggest putting?
Yeah, putting the words that say lackey in.
Yes.
Good start.
All right, so
I could really piss you off. I hope you know that. I'm gonna not.
I swear, if you put Void Caller in,
I could Void Caller Gul'dan package and just have some cards that say lackey and win on turn 4 with Void Caller.
I think the point of it saying archetype is that you're supposed to make the archetype and not just.
Oh, I know, but I'm pretty sure I can put every lackey card in the game in and still win with Void Caller.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I should probably turn off Discord
Not
so you can't see what I'm doing.
Lackey, that doesn't count.
I'm gonna stop
No,
screen
lackey
sharing for a second.
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
All right. So we're gonna build these decks, and we'll do.
That seems fair.
We'll play one game.
Building. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do like that. Let's set a timer. Okay, Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Starting now.
Oh, that's funny. That's pretty scuffed. I love that. They can't even hear it, so you're just. All right, I'm gonna mute and get the big brain flowing.
Oh my gosh, my Hearthstone's not gonna load.
Void Caller.
Okay. Oh, please don't crash. Please don't crash. All right, well, we're gonna reload because it'll take less time. Of course, it would crash. An update is available and will be applied when the game closes. No! Are you kidding me? What update is going out today that we didn't know about? All right, well, while we're waiting for this to reload, granted, I think Jordan's going to take the full 15, and I'm probably not. So as long as we get in with the next couple minutes, we'll be good. I did not know there was an update today. Otherwise, I would have done this differently. All right. Let's hope this starts loading here soon.
Question.
What's your question?
We're doing this in kind of an interesting way where we make our decks after we know what we're playing again. Should I pretend I don't know what you're playing? Or like maybe only slightly know what you're playing?
That's a good point.
Like, am I just supposed to just slot in some twistings because I know you're playing recruit and maybe like the shield removal guy, you know? Or am I supposed to just say, this is probably good against
build it how
Monster?
you would build it to take it to ladder. Because originally we are gonna do this to take it to ladder.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm still gonna probably put some removal in, obviously, but I won't
Well,
play plate breaker or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be pretty toxic.
Shield breaker, whatever it's called.
The other issue is I don't own Woe Cleaver, so sorry, Casual
Oof.
Fridays, but Woe Cleaver will not be in this deck.
I mean, that's seems like an essential card.
It's pretty important. Do you own it?
I'm checking right now.
But you probably don't own a lot of the other cards that I would put in it, so.
Wait. Oh, I don't own it either.
Yeah. So Woe Cleaver won't be
Whatever.
in this deck, but
Probably should be. Yeah.
it probably should be.
Dang.
I
got all the lackeys, bro. I'm killing it.
am waiting for
Sorry.
Hearthstone to update because of course I am. Did you know there was an update today? Because I didn't.
No. Should I restart my game and update it to be slightly fair?
No, I don't even know what the update is. I don't think it's a balance update.
Imagine they just nerf some of the wild cards that you have. I'm gonna be honest. Closed the game, relaunched it. No update.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my game crashed, and then it says the game is running.
It must have updated
will
in the
update.
background before I got on, but you've been on for a while, so it.
Yeah, that's what I would assume it is because I've been streaming for like 4 hours at this point, 5 hours.
That's probably what happened.
That's probably what happened, indeed. It's fine. It'll take me less time to build this deck because I kind of know what I want to do and
Sure.
build homebrews often. But yeah, this timer is going to go off, and I'm not going to be done probably.
I like that I got this because even if I googled this and like looked up what they run, it wouldn't really help me.
No.
It was like in standard they ran like the quest and did draw free card, run like Zephyrs, draw your deck, do like fairly okay things, but this is wild, and I feel like that's very. I'm tempted to run it.
But yeah,
The
I love that
problem
you've already checked that you can't Google it, haven't you?
Oh no, I can definitely, but it seems way more.
Yeah.
The point.
The
The
point
problem
is not
it's
to.
10 lackey cards,
Is there?
so I could put like 20 cube lock cards in and just win. It's like I gotta like try to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can put powerful cards in, but I prefer
Yeah,
like
I mean, I'm
nerfed cards that I thought should be nerfed should
I'm
not
gonna put
be
things
in there.
in like brand that'll make my battle card lackeys and stuff good, and why not?
Yeah. Okay.
And,
it looks like it's almost done.
maybe
It says
even some
finalizing.
cards that give me more of certain cards, so I can have like 2 Grand Lackey Erics. That's big, and by big brand I mean unnecessarily greedy and bad.
Yeah, well.
Just the way we like.
Well,
Like,
unnecessarily
dude, I
greedy
should put
tends
Arthas
to
in,
be
bro.
pretty good.
I could eat my Arthas and get a 5/5. That's crazy. Get some lackeys, eat my Arthas. All right. Should probably put in some removal. Put in void contract. I don't even need the 10 lackey cards. I'll just destroy the rest. Gosh, I've got to be honest. This last page here, I'm seeing a Gul'dan, a Void Lord, and Mal'Ganis. Tough to wrist. He's good.
All right. Well, we're finally getting into Hearthstone.
That's such a here. My brain.
It helps that I play a lot of Warrior, so I kind of know what I want to put into it. And I've played Even
Yeah, you
Warrior
probably
before.
played this before.
Yeah, I've played Even Warrior before. And I think I brought a recruit package in it.
I'm putting Foiper in this deck 100%. I'm Foiping your.
You do that, bud.
I'm gonna freaking High Inquisitor white main my Foiper and get it back. I think I might really just troll here.
Yeah?
I think I'm gonna actually do this draw my deck game plan. This seems no Foiper, huh? I guess I'll skip past ooze. That's a card I should put in my deck.
This is taking very long. There we go. My collection. I swear, this timer's gonna go off and I'll be like, oh, I've put Gen in the list.
You can extend it if you need to because you didn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I don't have enough room, but I feel like cards suck. Now I need a different one.
See, this worked out perfectly because I have the 1K Warrior Hero Portrait, and you have the 1K Gul'dan Hero Portrait, don't you?
Yes, I do. Although I'm using MC because she's BN. Alright, that card's not. That's just that. To be honest. Ooh, maybe that could be good. Oh, I'm having an identity crisis. This class is too hard.
Yeah, you're like, why am I not putting in the
Yeah.
good cards?
I aggro this? Should I control this? Should I Mechazune this? Should I Chef Nomi this? Like, what am I supposed to do here?
Turns out when you can draw a bunch of cards, a class is really good.
Class is just good. There are a lot of bad cards in Hearthstone.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. That's why you have to like pick the good ones. Is there a reason I only put one of this on this list? So this
Screw it.
needs to end up in our list.
We're doing it.
We don't want to cut low end. This is probably overkill.
I'm being fun instead of. I think. Could just end up being good depending on what you draw, obviously.
Yeah. My matchup is definitely not favored, I think, because
No.
I'm super slow. It's the only way to
I'm
build
not
this deck.
doing aggro.
I just had to
It's my
cut.
cost,
I just
man.
had to cut a card that I love, and it upsets me.
I'll do that.
But I think, in the spirit of making this deck actually potentially viable, at least in this matchup.
There's a whole lot they got to worry about. I shouldn't run these cards.
All right, I am ready.
Good for you. How much time we got?
Probably not much. Okay,
No.
Google. How much time is left on my timer?
13 seconds remaining.
13 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't know. Just tossing these cards here quick. Call it finished. Like it.
Okay, Google. Stop. All right.
Wow. 15 minutes.
All right. So we're gonna play best of one.
Really should have had deck checker open for this, so now it's not going to know my deck. One sec. I needed to know my deck. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
So
go
you know what's in
insane.
it.
I have no idea what's in my deck. I think that the best way to build this was probably Highlander
Yeah.
with like 4 duplicates or whatever. That oh, you can challenge me. I'll challenge you. You can challenge me if you have it up. I think that's probably the best way to do it. I was tempted to really troll and put 6 minus 6 to upgrade your hero power so I could not take damage when I draw. Just tap. It's hard to play. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I do.
Yeah, you just play stuff on curve.
And I hit the button. This is a different button than I'm used to hitting.
I should have made it even, bro.
What?
I can't really do it easily.
Did you say you should have made it even, Lackeylock?
I could have made it even.
That seems bad.
It does, doesn't it? I don't know, man. You might be in trouble.
Yeah?
I'm gonna win. This is pretty close to how I would do it, I think. But I feel like you just win. If I don't kill you, you're gonna have so unnecessarily greedy
Oh, for
that
sure.
I'm like trying to be fun, and you have like 8 6-drops in a 10. This man somehow runs 4 Lich Kings in his deck.
That would
You
be dope. I should think of a way to do that as warrior.
Whoa.
Okay, okay. This is going well for me so far. Sticking to the game plan. It's powerful.
It really was. That's a good turn. Oh, that's rude. Nice.
He has evolved his lackey into a faceless manipulator. That's exactly what you want to do. Or evolved
That's
as
the best 5 drop I wanted.
an evil demon. Well, this turn is going to be awkward.
That tends to happen on this turn. To smork or not to smork? That is the question.
Is there another option, or
There's a not smork option, yes. But I'm going with the smork option. Because if I hit you enough, you're dead.
that does tend to be how that works? Oh dear. That's a lot of damage.
Really?
Yeah. Turns.
Um,
There's a reason Even Warrior isn't run.
that's the best you can do to this board. No, I feel bad. I'm 1 damage off lethal.
Yeah, you are. You should kill the 5/5. Not actually.
I feel like that'd be bad for you.
Maybe. It's okay. You hit Gen every time.
What?
I get Gen every time out of that. 100%.
That's your cheapest minion?
No.
Again?
Is it? Yeah, it is.
I could draw that for lethal, that for lethal, that for lethal. That's not lethal. There's like 3 cards that are lethal. I'm just gonna win this game and be sad about it. I regret the smork line. It was just too good. It wasn't fun enough.
Turns out Warlock's very good.
You didn't run enough like anti minions in.
I mean, I have anti-aggro spells and weapons, but you kind of just like
You shouldn't
went
draw them.
wide. You went wide, and I didn't really draw them very well. Like I'm currently holding a Blood Razor now. I just top decked it. I also drew a Cleave.
I have so many more fun things I can.
That was
Maybe I can trade my whole board off and do this
misplay of
5/4. Yeah, that was. No, I can't trade so many things off.
I mean, right now it just pulls out again, Gray Man. So
Doesn't pull out what? It's gonna give you again?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's big sad.
I have another.
I
Thermite
built this
Tangamaniac,
deck.
Like,
I built this deck wrong. I think I built it as like a big even recruit, but like there are smaller minions that are good. The smallest minion I put in here is
oh,
the
it's
new
from your
legendary.
hand?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was from your deck.
No.
That greatly changes the decision I've made here. All right, well, I won this game. Let's.
Very clearly, yes. Turns out Zoo Warlock beats bad warrior archetype.
It's just like a. The draw might have been good enough, but far from. It's like it's far from Zoo. I have a lot of top. Not all of which I've drawn, obviously. Hey, now we're.
Like, I didn't find like execute or sleep with the fishes or my other work path or
okay.
my only 4-mana minion or
I feel like Charged Double Sword is not a card you should ever be playing. That
it impacts the board. That's why I'm playing it.
you just need to
Also
run like
order.
taunts and stuff.
Also order. Lol. Should have swung. It's fine. I was never winning this game. You've already had lethal and didn't do it because of playing for fun.
Yeah.
That card's wild. By the way, like, how many lackeys did you play before you like killed me? Like 2?
Yeah, I Evil Genius an egg and you died.
Yeah.
It was a pretty
I mean, egg's a good card in Warlock for sure.
man. I'm just churning out the value on these dragon things. Holy cow!
Yeah. But yeah, like most of the good removal in Warlock is odd.
What a turn! There's my board. Your turn. Costed me 1 card, and I generated 2 extras. Oh
no! It's the worst one.
You're gonna love what that does to my hand, though.
Yeah, it's gonna eat him some lackeys.
Yeah, if I play this last lackey, although I'm tempted to play 10 lackeys because you've left it all.
Yeah, well,
Should I play my Ysera?
I think you should kill the blatant decoys.
I really wish it didn't bring out the lowest cost. I don't want my Cobalt Lackey gone. I won't want this to exist. Goodbye. Whatever that is. Here comes some more lackeys that I don't get to make. Now we're talking.
Like,
Now you're
to be fair, most of the things in my deck have rush or taunt, and I just like got pretty unlucky with not like you have to draw like gather your party in this deck to even have a chance. So, or your anti-aggro stuff too. But like,
I drew really well. I could have coined out Grand Pharaoh on 5 or 4. I just remember Lacus wasn't worth it. What the heck is that?
The new
Whenever this
legendary.
attacks and kill minion gain 10 armor.
Yeah.
Not my librarian. You jerk. I was gonna use that. Nice. Can't clear your board anymore. The lowest cost card in my hand currently is 6. That's how hard you got high roll. Wow, you're gonna kill me now? Wow. Disrespectful. Oh, wow. Well, now I can't clear your board.
That's the goal. But yeah, you very clearly won this.
I still got fun cards left to play. Oh my god.
I'm gonna do us both a favor, I think. Well,
No.
yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, I got the right card.
That's
I was supposed to kill it. No, I'm bad.
You absolute moron.
I'm bad at this game. Apparently.
Order lull, dude.
Normally 10 attack kills things, so I did worry about it. Oh my gosh. Order lull. That poor Ysera never knew it was coming.
Oh my gosh. Oh. That's. Oh, I forgot that card is. And by forgot, I mean I didn't put it in my deck.
What card? Oh, right.
could dream it back to my hand and do it again.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. I'm having too much. I could have just played Reno Jackson this turn, and then you couldn't have killed me. But
You have Reno on that list?
yes, and it's already been active. I also have Dragon Queen and Zephyrs all on hand, all active. Well, that belongs in your hand.
Yeah. Sure, man. That way I can Dead Man's Hand it again.
Zephyrs is a powerful card.
Give you death. Yeah. Oh,
Give me
execute.
execute. I could have got death. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to attack. I'm used to that being a 3-mana card and having to execute. Wasted one damage. Oh, I wasted like 12 damage.
Sure.
Well, it turns out Murgle Prime in this deck's pretty okay. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm sure this will do something fun. Not sure if it's enough, but it is. Let's go.
Nice.
4/4. 2/2. Good top positioning for your weapon too. Good stuff.
Yeah, because I'm going to use it.
Technically, the best player would have been
This game,
then.
this game is done.
Hey,
Congrats.
your deck is very bad.
Even Recruit Warrior is pretty bad. If you're gonna play Recruit Warrior, don't play it even, so that you can run good cards like Brawl.
Some way to survive.
All right, so that was Random Deck Builder.
That brings us to the end.
That does.
of
So
our podcast.
if you want to find me on social media, I am Vapod1_HS on Twitter. And you can tune in on Twitch at Vapod1. Jordan, is there any social media plugs? Where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter if they want. Jordan MG.
Jordan MG on Twitter. All right. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. So we just want to leave you with one thought. If you see a People's Champion, you buy a People's Champ. You buy a People's Champion. Thanks for watching, everyone.